What up, guys? It's your girl Just Shaz back with another video. If it's your first time here, welcome to the squad, welcome to the family. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. It is your favorite YouTube couple. I don't know if we're your faves yet. Can we say what their faves?
Favorite YouTube couple, bro.
We're manifesting. We're manifesting. Soon you'll be seeing this duo in many places. We're manifesting, right?
Them runs.
Anyhow. It's your girl Just Shaz, and today we're finally doing a how we met video. This is a request from a fan. Can you imagine? We actually have fans now. This is crazy.
People want to know too much.
This is crazy.
People want to know too much. But anyway.
But we're very excited. So yesterday was actually our 5-month wedding anniversary. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
It's already been 5 months. I feel like that went by so quickly. We've been together for 4 years.
4 years plus.
4 years plus. 4 years together, 5 years married.
Huh?
I'm manifesting.
4 years together,
5 months
married. It's been what?
Yeah.
February, March, April, May.
Yeah. 4 years together, 5, because we got married a month after our 4-year anniversary. So that's actually an easy way to calculate. So 4 years together, 5 months.
4.5.
5 months married. Yeah. How do you feel, bro? It's been 5 months married already.
Feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Think I'm,
yeah.
I've gotten used to it now.
Used to having a wife.
Have a wife, innit?
Have a wife.
But
yeah. It feels more official now and much nicer, when you're at work and you're like, oh, like my husband said, or like, oh, me and my husband.
And guys, a trick for all my work people out there.
He works corporate,
Yes. An excuse that includes a wife is more valuable than just say, I'm going to hang out with the boys.
Or with my girlfriend, even.
Or with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Trust me, if you say, I'm going to do this with my wife, the manager's going to say, hey, bro.
Family man. And now when you have kids, it will be doubled even.
Double. It's just say, I'm taking my kid from school. No one says no to that. No one.
But yeah, we're not there yet. But future us will be say you'll just hear us everywhere. Oh, I gotta go pick up the kids.
The wife card works.
Yeah, but the
wife card.
Yeah, husband even sounds better. Like even saying my boyfriend, it feels so like high school childish. Like me and my boyfriend. But here a lot of people say partner.
Partner.
Anyways. Yeah. So how did we meet, bro? We met. It's been how many years now? 5 years.
November 2020.
That's when we first started dating. But when did we meet? We met in October 2020.
So I arrived in October, right? When did I arrive?
You arrived 25 October. No, that's when I first met you. I first met you October 25th.
But I had arrived
October
like 20 or something like that.
Yeah, like a week before. Yeah. So yeah, if you do the math, the talking stage was very short. It was like maybe 2 weeks.
It was like 2 weeks. Girl was attached already. So
I was attached. And we'll get into that story. But
all right.
Yeah.
Your version. Who is that?
Oh, there are two versions?
No, they're not two versions. They're the same. But we can say them differently.
Okay, so in 2020 was a crazy year, as everybody knows.
Yeah, 2020 was crazy.
Yeah, because I studied, so I graduated from college in 2022, but 2020 I was now starting my 3rd year of uni, and it was COVID. I had studied abroad in London, which was amazing. It was a great time. But then COVID hit in April, then my program got cut in half. Then I got stuck in London until August. Thank God for family that lived there, so at least I got a place to live. And then I ended up coming back to Eswatini in August through a repatriation flight from the king of Swaziland. It's making it sound like I was the only one on the plane, but I wasn't. There was like 300 plus people.
It was a full plane.
A very full plane. Yeah. So we're both originally from Zimbabwe. And originally from the same town, coincidentally, both from Mutare, which is
my home. She's my home girl.
Yeah, homeboy, home girl. But we met in Eswatini. So originally from Zimbabwe, but both of our families relocated to Eswatini from Zimbabwe. Our family moved in 2009. When did your family move?
I think my dad first moved in 2006. Then my mom followed. 2006, 7, I guess.
Yeah.
if I'm remembering well, then my mom followed after Alice was born. That was after 2008.
Yeah. Oh, that's a
like
long
around
time.
2009, 2010.
But our families throughout the whole time we lived in Eswatini, we never met, didn't know each other. Yet, like, we were in Eswatini, they were in Lobamba. Like, that was literally, if you know Eswatini, like, yeah, that's like a 10-minute drive or less.
We should have met you.
We should have met, yeah. Yeah, but you guys never came to our church.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, we didn't even cross paths at church. We didn't, and he went to school back home in Zimbabwe. He would just come for term breaks.
The holidays. Yeah. Shout out to Tamba.
He always used to give a shout out.
I love that school.
Yeah. But yeah, so we never met at all, like, despite our families both being in Eswatini. But then in 2019, because both of our families went to the United Methodist Church in Zimbabwe, so now because there were enough Zimbabweans in Eswatini, they wanted to form their own, like, UMC.
Not their own. They wanted to form a denomination.
Okay.
One.
Yeah, a denomination in Eswatini. So that was formed, I believe, beginning of 2019. And yeah, so then in 2020, the location of the church at that point was actually our house, where we were living, because the house had space. Why are you laughing? No, this is good context. You guys will understand why that fact is important.
Okay, sure. Yeah, very important.
That church, as you know, was being held in our house.
It was a very small group of people.
Yeah, like maybe 5 families. So like 30 people max. Yeah, so not a big congregation.
The church was their house.
Yeah,
because there was space.
We had space for that. So then come 2020, I finally come home in Eswatini in August. I did my 2 weeks of quarantine in Pikes Peak. If you haven't watched that video, which you probably haven't, I'm going to link it up here. I did quarantine 2 weeks, and then I went home in September 2020. That's when my mom came to pick me up. And then the following Sunday, I then met his entire family. Because they were coming to church on Sunday. I say church, but now you guys understand. When we say church, it's our house. It's church. They were coming to church.
We were going to church.
We were going to church, yeah. So then I met his whole family before I met him. You know, he's got 3 younger brothers and a sister. So I ended up knowing about him before I even met him.
Silly me, bro.
So his mom, like, she was like, "Oh, Titi, you just came home. You know, my son is coming home from Russia." And I'm like, "Russia? What the heck is a Zimbabwean mother talking about a son in Russia?" And I was like, "You know, I'm not even gonna ask questions. Cool, your son is coming home from Russia." And she was asking about the shuttle service, because normally when you come to Eswatini, most of us fly into Tambo in Joburg. Then you take a shuttle called Transmagnific from Eswatini from Joburg to Eswatini.
Yeah, from the airport, actually.
From the airport, yeah. It's like a 4-hour drive from Johannesburg, South Africa to Eswatini. So the mom was asking me, like, "Oh, you just came home. I'm trying to book a shuttle for my son. Like, can you help?" So now I didn't even know his name. I just knew she had an older son who was pulling up and, needed a shuttle. So I even helped her coordinate everything. And then his younger sister, shout out to you, Alice, because
No, don't shout out to that one.
So I'm asking her, because now at this point, I think his brothers came home like maybe 2 weeks later, and I was like, "Oh, I met the brothers," and now I'm asking Alice. I'm like, "So what can you tell me about this other brother?"
What were you asking about me, bro?
I don't know. I was curious because I didn't even know anything about you, but I was curious. So now I was like, actually, I don't think I asked her. I think Alice was just so excited to see you. And I had to understand, like, what's the excitement? Like, what was the reason? So I was like, what is it about this brother that gets you so pumped? And she's like, "No, he's so sweet. Like, he listens to me. He's so kind. He's, like, gentle and funny." And I was just like, okay. Cool beats, whatever. Then we let it go. And then he arrived, and I didn't know anything about you still. But yeah, so that's so then come Sunday, the following Sunday. I think you arrived on a Sunday, because I didn't meet you that Sunday that you arrived, because that's the day you arrived.
No, I was coming to church the day of arrival. Come on.
So yeah,
I arrived Sunday night.
Sunday night, but then the next Sunday, I remember his family was late to church again. It
wasn't because of me.
To our house, which was church. So I see them walking in, and I'm like, "Dang, who's this tall caramel looking nigga that's just walking into church?" No, he was. He was wearing his graduation suit. Like, he looked fine. He looked fine. Anyways, Mom, don't watch this. It's just know he looked really good. I'm gonna insert a picture here of how he looked at his graduation, so that you guys understand that my boy was looking.
fresh.
So so I eyed him, but I was like, play cool, Titi, like it's fine. We're not gonna do nothing. Because then after church, they all said the youth should stay after church. And then that's when we stayed after church, and we're all sitting in a circle because we needed to plan Youth Sunday for the next Sunday. And then now people were asking around, like, oh, who's gonna preach next week Sunday? Then suddenly everyone was just like, Brother Kelvin.
I heard those guys. They all looked at me. They all. And me, I'm just used to be the sacrificial lamb, firstborn. Whenever things are happening, it's always like you first. So they said, okay, Kelvin should preach.
And me, I'm sitting next to him. Because mind you, I just caught this man. I'm like, we're sitting next to each other in the circle. I can feel he's so nervous. So then I was like, guys, we can't. He just arrived. He just arrived. We can't let him be the one to preach. Saved his ass.
I was going to do it. I was actually going to preach that next Sunday.
Yeah.
I was going to be nervous, but I was going to do it.
Are you glad that I jumped in?
Very glad. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Because then afterwards, that was my little venture of getting his attention. Now he knew me, So then after church, after our youth Sunday, after our youth meeting, he came to me and he was like, bro, thanks for the appreciate it. And I was like, you good, bro, you good. And then he was like, can I get your number? And I was like, did I say yes when you asked that Sunday
for the number?
Yeah,
bro. He gave me a number.
It's like,
you did.
So I gave him my number and he texted that week, and I think I ghosted him. I don't think
but I texted. I was like, hey, this is my number. Ghosted. I was like, okay, sure, I'm not gonna care about you too, bro. I just met you today to help.
Yeah. So then he left it alone for 2 days.
3 days later, then why is this not replying? Is it like why is she being so difficult about things?
Difficult. So then he texted me again, and I replied, and I was like, hey, so sorry, I'm a really terrible texter. I actually prefer calls. And usually whenever I said that to guys in the past, they think I'm playing hard to get, or that I just want to be difficult. But genuinely, I prefer calls with people because it's much easier to just call. You get the conversation over with, you have a good time, and then we don't have to worry about texting each other back and forth, So then that's what I said. Then what does this man do? Literally, I think the next day, he called, video call even, not just an audio call. This man called me video call with a bunch of his friends in the woods.
Context. Only the boys who were there understood why I made a video call on that day. It's not going to be disclosed here.
Oh my goodness.
But the boys will know why it was a video call.
Yeah, I still have a screenshot of that call. But
don't post
it. I'm not going to. When he called, and I was like, dang, why are you calling me, bro? And he's like, well, you said you're bad with texts, and I wanted to talk to you, so I'm calling. I was like, oh my god, that was the first green flag. I was like, wow, every time I've said this in the past, people just dismiss it. So I was like, oh, okay, I see you, So obviously now the brownie points are just racking up. So then the next Sunday was Youth Sunday. And we had a braai, and even some pictures of people taking pictures of us braaiing together, because now I was like, this man is cool, I want to get.
I was scared if I did. I was scared. We were at their house, right?
Yeah. Now it's our house.
The bride is different from church. That wasn't
church. It's still church.
We were at their house, a church bride. Me, I'm trying, boss. Shout out to your dad. He's a respectable man. So I respect him so much that I didn't want to be that guy who'd be just coming to church, you're already, talking to girls and stuff like that. And she was relaxed because, it was me, I'm trying by all means to run away from that girl. Run away.
Yeah, but I kept lingering next to him and just, shoot your shot, ladies. That's the moral of the story of how we met. Shoot your shot, eh? I shot my shot until now I got a husband.
It doesn't hurt to shoot your shot, yeah. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, you can agree that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I agree. So after that, then we actually just started talking a whole lot. We would be up to 4 a.m. texting, chatting, calling.
I made noise for the boys.
Oh yeah.
We used to sleep in one room, mama.
And yeah,
they were so pissed at me because I'll be on calls
all the time
in the evening.
Yeah.
So and the boys want to sleep. But they're my boys.
No, so they understood. So
They're my
yeah,
youngest.
our first few months were actually very cute. Like we for Christmas, I remember we went to your house for Christmas. At that point, our parents didn't know anything. It was just two families hanging out.
Hanging out.
It just so happens. His mom actually says she didn't know we were dating.
I'll be careful, bro.
Like 9 months
later. Until 9 months later, my mom was like, "No, I didn't know you did. I thought she was just your friend,
just your homie."
You see what, my mom? I think she was so in doubt that I'll beg her. Like, for real. She was like, "Nah, there's no way, bro. She's way too much for this boy." Prove you wrong, bro.
Oh wow! So mom thought I was out of your league like that.
I'm thinking so, because we used to hang out like a little bit. She knows.
Yeah.
I used to have friends before.
Yeah.
I never hang out like that. I never go outside of the house more often like that. Even for boys hang out.
Yeah.
The boys know. I'm a homebody. But at that point in time, I think we'll go out almost every day.
Yeah.
Almost every day. We will figure out some excuse.
Even if it was 20 minutes to see each other.
Some excuse to make just to be outside of the house. So that we go somewhere, Gables or some shenanigans.
So Gables was like it's a shopping mall in Eswatini. So actually that's how we started dating, like going to buy groceries together. The most mundane thing ever. But because it was COVID, my parents didn't want to really go out and mingling with crowds too much. So I was the one in charge of the grocery shopping. I would look like I didn't like it, but I knew that that's the time for me and my boy to be, hanging out.
People always
so literally at least we know we could spend like a good uninterrupted 2 hours together, like once a month, because we would need to do like a big grocery haul for the month.
Then the run around.
And then that run around.
They're like, oh, we forgot juice.
Yeah.
Kelvin, you wanna get? By the way, their house was this other side. Our house was this other side. The shopping mall was in
the middle. Yeah.
She would drive from there to come and pick me up, so that we go to the shopping mall, come drop me off and go back home.
Pretend like nothing happened. We would have just spent our. But my dad knew. His mom pretends she didn't know, but my dad knew. My dad sent you down.
He ambushed me
in January. This is like month 2, so it was my birthday, which is actually one of my favorite moments of us together. Like my birthday, I was like I was turning 22, and this was the first birthday I'd actually gotten to spend at home like in the last 3 years. And it was the first birthday where, because my mom and my older brother share a birthday on the 14th of January and I'm on the 18th of January, so we're almost triplets, so we always celebrated on my birthday. So this was the first birthday where all 3 of us were actually together in the like in person, same location, the last like 5 years. So I wanted to do a big like photo shoot thing. So in the middle of the photo shoot, I get a call from this man, and he's like, "I'm by the gate." I'm like, "What do you mean you're by the gate?" So next thing, I go by the gate, and there he is, guys, in the flesh, is holding like a gift, and I didn't even know he was coming. Oh my goodness, I was so happy. To this day, he doesn't understand why that gesture.
That day was the most basic day ever.
Yeah.
The man was broke. I didn't have $1 in my pocket. I had to convince my mom
to
buy me the gift.
Didn't know? So she thought you were just buying a gift for a friend.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, sometimes mama, I don't know. She is the one who actually bought the gift that I'm not gonna disclose it.
Why? It was a very special gift. He got me my very first wallet that I still have it, and I
wanna throw it away. That thing.
Why? Oh my goodness, it means so much to me.
We'll put some pictures of it.
No, it can't be taken pictures of
a necklace. Shout out to my mom. She's the one who bought it for me. I didn't have nothing. Like I was broke. Nothing. So I went to Gables. She bought me some stuff. Then she was like, "Oh, you want me to accompany you?" I was like, "Hell no, I wanna go alone."
Yeah.
Went back home, dropped them, then drove to there.
Yeah, and you came with your brother.
I came with my brother. Right here, man.
Yeah, wingman, who ended up being our best man.
I was not going to just show up alone. You were gonna be like, "Hey,
what are you doing?" So he actually joined the photo shoot. I'm also gonna put photos of him in the photo. So my dad, because it was a 2-story house, my dad was just watching from upstairs.
Eyeing me.
Was it on that day that he called you up to his office? No. It was a few days later.
It was a few days later.
Yeah, you can tell them about that. What happened that day?
It was a few days later. Me, I'm pretending like I don't know nothing. The honest person ever in the world. Those who know me, like, there are people who know the stubborn side of me.
Yeah.
There are people who know the very straightforward, very, I don't know, Kelvin. Especially those who want to show that side. So I'm trying by all means to show this good guy. They will never know I'm sneaky. One of the days, I think we had come, me and my brothers, we went to their house to, I think it was arranging some books.
In the library or something.
In the library, something like that. Then, some minutes later, I went, you wanted upstairs. I'm like, upstairs by who? Like, my father. Your father? Yeah. I'm like, hell no, bro, you're joking. She's like, yeah. He just wants to talk to you. I got in his office, say the other side. Me, I'm trying to, I don't want it to be.
Good boy.
Yeah. No, I was a good guy. I was a good guy. I'm just trying to make things not look awkward at the end of the day. So I sat down. He tricked me, bro. I didn't even tell him that we were dating. He just went into the story, bro. Oh, what's up? My daughter, she's a
yapper.
Talker. She's a very big talker. So if you want to be okay with her, you have to be that one person too. But before we get into that, what's your 5-year plan?
That one is always rough.
Typical. I don't know. Interview question, but what's your 5-year plan? Mind you,
Did you even have one?
Yeah?
Did you have one?
I've never even thought about it. So my brain works like this. There are things that I think about in passing, right? Especially things that I want to do in the future. I think about things in passing, then I just let them go. Something like that, Think about them, let them go. So at that point in time, I didn't have a job. I was still trying to apply. A lot was happening. COVID was also a thing, like big that time. So I was like, I told him, okay, this is my plan. I came back from Russia because of COVID, because I felt like I needed some work experience before I get to do my master's, at least a year or 2. So I have a plan to do my master's. With my master's, I want to be an accountant. So I want to do either ACA, which is ACCA for back home, chartered accountant, or CPA. So I'm planning to sit for those exams too. As for where, I told him, I don't know at this point in time. Anywhere, at that time, I was thinking I was going to go back to Russia after things were cool. And do my master's there because I had, a lot of people
and connections still in Russia.
In Russia. So I wanted to go back and do that. So that was my 5-year plan. Say within this 5 years, this is what I want to do. I want to have a master's. I want to have at least 2 years of experience working. I want to start or have done my CPA and start my articles. So that was my 5-year plan. I was like, smart boy. It looks well curated.
It was well curated. It was well. And if you look back, it's been 5 years and you've done all of the things you actually mentioned.
Yeah.
When you look back, he's been working full-time as an accountant. He's entering his 3rd year in September.
Big Four accounting
firm. He did his master's
in accounting.
He's doing an MBA right now.
The CPA it's my last academic thing, academic thing that I want to do, honestly speaking.
Yeah.
It's because I'm doing an MBA now, so the CPA I kind of leave it aside
for a little bit. But
it's in the plans.
You manifested. You knew what you were talking about without knowing what you're talking about.
Trust me, I didn't know what I was talking about.
But look at God.
I was saying, look at where you are. It sounded nice. It sounded nice. It was the wildest dream. Like,
it made sense.
In your head, sometimes you have that wild dream. Like, after school, someone had, I want to do this. I want to do this. That was the wildest dream for me. And I said it.
Yeah. And look at us.
And
that's pretty cool, actually.
5 years later.
5 years later.
5 years is not even over yet.
Well, from that conversation,
2025, we just started.
2021. Yeah, it's
from that conversation.
It's like 4 years since then.
So we're still en route.
Yeah.
So by the end of 2025, you never know where we'll be.
I'm actually proud of you. That's pretty solid, given that those are things that you. Hey, good job. But yeah, so my dad knew he clocked what was happening, and he set the
shout
man
out to him,
down.
though.
He
I
even
love
said,
that
"What
guy.
are the intentions? What intentions do you have for my daughter?" Didn't he ask you that question?
Yeah, he did. He did ask her. I'm like, did I say I'm dating your daughter? I haven't said that yet. So it's like the intention. But no, I was 25,
24. You were still to turn 25.
But like I'm a 24, 25-year-old
Yeah.
now, so I feel like it's time now where I start to make this big life decisions, getting married, starting a family, and all those. But now I'm kind of focused on, try to establish myself work-wise, and a few things that I want to do to be able to kind of have those things in future. Like,
I see you.
The one.
Yeah, no, I think we had a really good strong start, I would say. Like, we had the support of the families, even though they were not super in the know.
I tell you the truth, especially back home, this is not
it's
really
not
something
usual.
that very usual.
Yeah.
But to have a very to make your intentions known
from the get-go.
Not really from the get-go, but to make your intentions known wherever you want to make. If you want to take things serious, make your intentions known to the people that you respect so much. It gives you some sense of accountability rather than, if it's behind door, it ends, no one will even know, it is nothing. But if it's known, it's not going to constrict you, though it's another, area of things. I'm not talking about that now. I'm just talking if you're actually serious about someone. Make your intentions known. Make yourself accountable by, doing the right thing. Letting parents know it's not a bad thing. It gives you some kind of responsibility that, okay, I'm supposed to work towards making things work too. Than when you're just, it's one of those when you just want to do whatever you want to do for a specific period of time. You don't have that sense of responsibility and accountability to say, hey, bro, after all that, you want to do that. So it gives you some
you'll be letting down a lot more people than just each other.
It can be pressure, I know, but it's also accountability and responsibility. You don't want to waste other people's time out there.
Yeah. A lot of people tend to ask, like, did you know I was the one? Or how did you know, like, your person was the one? Especially since, like, this conversation is happening with my dad, like, 2 months in, and you're talking about all the seriousness and accountability, like, so quick. So how did you decide that, I want to make this?
At the moment where everything is happening, like this meeting with the dead and stuff like that, reporting, I want to tell you the truth, guys. I didn't know anything.
You were just a hopeful man.
Myself. Relationship wise, when we actually started, I did tell her, when we actually started like seeing each other, I was like, I don't think I'm ready for anything at this point in time. And she knew about it. I told her that I'm not really ready for anything at this time. I'm ready. There are things that I need to figure out at this point in time. Well, I didn't want to waste anyone's time, I felt like, I don't know, graduating kind of changed me a little bit, At that point in time, I felt like, if I want to do something now, from now moving forward, it has to be very serious. Not to say, everything I did in the past was not serious. I'm not saying that. But at that point in time, I was like, okay, everything in the past is in the past now.
But not the future.
The future. Now, moving forward, whatever I want to do, I want to, make sure that I'm putting all the effort and stuff like that. As for knowing, when I started knowing, okay, this is the one, it was some time in. I feel like if it was going to be a very different issue, because we started talking in November. She was supposed to leave in February, right?
Yeah, in like late January. Yeah, because it was COVID, so I was supposed to come back.
She was supposed to come back to school.
Back to the US for school.
I tell you the truth, if she had left in February, we're not going to be here.
Yeah, because then I would have left like 2 months.
2 months in.
2 months, and then and then entering like a long distance relationship situation, and we wouldn't have had enough of a foundation.
No,
really.
It was not going to work.
Yeah, but things worked out. God is good.
She ended up
because
I
secured,
like
I secured an internship that I could, because I needed to do an internship for my major, and I managed to find one back home. Because that was also gonna be one of the reasons I came back, was to find that. But then I found one back home, and then school was also with the time difference. I could do my internship from like 8 until 2 p.m. and then be in classes from 3 p.m. to from
I think it was 3 to 7.
3 to 7, another class from 3 to 6, another class from 7 to 10. That time was very chaotic. It was not a good time. But then in those hour breaks is when I would see this guy. So at least we managed to keep me home, and also managed to then have us build the foundation. We needed get to know each other. Actually,
there's a lot of first things that happened with us together. My very first job.
Yeah,
we were in Manzini.
Manzini. Yeah,
I think we were going to. We were just going to hang out
with some friends. Yeah,
we passed through an accounting for a small accounting firm.
Yeah.
We're like, let's just take a picture and
see what happens. So just send your CV.
I sent. They responded to me. That's another story. They responded to me. Started working there. I only worked there for a month. Then COVID kind of hit hard too.
They lost a lot of funding.
Of their clients and all that good stuff. So they let me go a month in.
Mm-hmm.
Then she also connected me with another with Ngomache,
a family friend.
Then I applied for an internship where I worked as a junior lecturer at a college. I worked there for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
That was some good internship. After that 3 months internship, I then ended up going to work for this one. I'll say by name. If you're in Swaziland, use Moete Korea.
Yeah,
those are my guys. I ended up working there for a good year.
Straight year from June to
June 2022.
Yeah.
Then I came to the US.
Yeah, because most of our dates in those 8 months getting to know each other was literally CV writing, job applications. For me, internship hunting up until I found the internship, to also doing school. So it was just a lot of life was still happening in that time. But again, supportive family members really makes a difference.
It makes it very...
Yeah, because his family was very supportive. My family, my parents were very supportive. So that made it easy, especially since he mentioned the accountability. It wasn't, we didn't need to hide. I'll be like, oh, I'm going to hang out with Kelvin. It wasn't
be like,
okay.
Oh, old enough. She was old enough.
Yeah, then, he's like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with Titi, and it's like, oh, okay, we know who Titi is, and it's so at least it made seeing each other a lot simpler.
Simpler and easier,
which was nice. So we did our 8 months in person, and then in August I left for my senior year, and I even journaled. We even had a plan, we're like, we're not getting into this long distance thing full time. what are we doing after you leave? So shout out to Alice, that's our family friend, and she told me, she was like, listen, because I said Kelvin is gonna come to the US next year. And
I didn't believe it.
Everyone was like, how is that gonna happen? Because I came to the US through United World Colleges, UWC, and we never knew anyone who applied directly from home directly to the US and getting a scholarship on top of that. So everyone was like, this is a pipe dream, that's never gonna happen. But Mjolo, the pandemic, people are in love, let's just let them dream. Let them dream. But I remember the night before I flew out, I journaled Kelvin USA 2022. 2022.
That was soon though.
Yeah, it was, because this is August 2021, and then I wrote to see USA 2022, the schools that we wanted to go to. So before I left, we just googled ACA, it was account. I don't know what ACA
accredited.
Is. Yeah,
we even doing it very wrong.
We just said ACA accredited schools in the US, CPA, because in the US it's CPA and not ACA. So and then a list of 10 schools came up. We literally just skimmed through it. Only one was in Chicago, and for me, the grad school for masters I wanted to go to after undergrad was a school in Chicago. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is God's. Like the one school that's close to, is in Chicago. Titi will also be in Chicago. I was like, this makes sense. So in my journal I wrote Titi, Roosevelt University, August 2022, Kelvin, Loyola
University in Chicago.
22. I was like, this is perfect. So then as soon as I got back to the US, we literally spent day in, day out.
Day night. Day and night.
With time difference, with everything.
I was working at that point in time too. So I'll come back home
tired.
It's like around 8, sometimes even late, coming back from work, and we'll sit down, start writing, like start applying, looking for schools. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was not a cute time.
But
it worked out. We spent like 7 heavy weeks, like making sure he had to do a Duolingo test for the English language test. And during, like, again, supportive family, like he would come to our house for Wi-Fi to like use laptop and all of that stuff. So my parents, like, he would still come home even when I wasn't there anymore. He would still like have dinners with my parents, and he would hang out. My dad would invite him for dinner, and they would hang out. I don't know how that was for you, like,
no,
to be hang out with your girlfriend's parents.
That would just show up, Hey, make yourself feel at home. Okay, sure, we eat, we cook.
And mind you, my parents, I'm the last born, so they were empty nesters, so it would just be him and my parents. It's not like there was anyone else in the household. So
sometimes I'll take the boys though, boys, to make it look nice. Hey, the boys were invited.
Let's go
to the house and just chill.
That was a crazy time.
Indeed.
But I remember it was the happiest day. He got into Loyola University, and it felt like all the hard work we've been pouring was just coming. And he got accepted to even come in October 2021, much earlier than we even thought. They responded like within 24 hours. But then within 48 hours, that whole dream came crashing down. They were like, oh, like, you didn't get a scholarship, but you have this little nyana, whatever.
They gave me like $2,000.
Yeah, the bill was like 40K. So after that, it felt like everyone just saying, I told you so.
I told you so. It's expensive.
It's expensive. Yeah. And at that point, it is expensive. Yeah, it really is. So that was like late September. So from there, it was like, okay, like Titi would just try to apply to this other job. For now, let's put Kelvin's like applications to rest. Let's figure out what Titi's gonna be doing. So then I found this thing called the OR Fellowship, but that's a story for another day. Moral of the story, I applied to this internship, I got it, but because I was an international student, they ended up denying me the offer because I didn't have the paperwork that they needed for it. It's very sad because that application was like 6 rounds of interviews from September all the way to November. So then after that, that's when I then got offered the job that I'm currently at. The school was like, oh, they don't know what they just lost, so we can keep you if you're willing. So then I went back to the drawing board, and I remembered a conversation with one of my professors who said, there's this school called Miami University, and they're one of the few schools that offers scholarships for master's programs. And back then I checked it out, and they didn't have any program I was interested in. So for me. So then I forgot about it. I was like, whatever, I don't care about Miami. But then when I then got offered the job at Earlham, I was like, there's this school called Miami. Let's just see if they have an accounting program, and then lo and behold,
they had one.
Masters in accountancy. Back when we found it, we didn't even know it was a 3+1 program.
And I think up until I read
no. 3+1. And 3+1 would mean that for people would start at undergrad, they would do 3 years undergrad and then an additional 1 year doing their master's. So in your 4 years, you'd graduate with an undergrad degree and a master's.
By the way,
but for him,
you need a 3.5
GPA to get there.
To get into that 3+1 program.
So for him, he was just joining the +1. But we didn't even know that. We just found that they had an accountancy program. We saw that their application deadline was like December 12th if you wanted to be considered for a scholarship. Of which now, like when we look back at, God was working in ways that we can't explain, because an application that took us literally 7 weeks, day in, day out, It took us 3 days.
3 days we were done.
3 days to apply to Miami. But this time we were like, we're not going to celebrate.
We're not going to celebrate.
Until like we know that there's an acceptance and the scholarship. So then after they accepted my job at Earlham, and we were just believing that maybe Miami will work out. Then in January, we got the acceptance letter. I was like,
we didn't even tell anyone.
No, we didn't tell anyone. He got in, and we're like, okay, financial aid package is still coming. I think it was another week or 2 weeks or something. Yeah. And then when the scholarship came, oh my goodness, they said congratulations, you received an international grant in aid, so all of your tuition will be covered. And literally the bill went down from like $60,000 to like $6,000
for the year.
And his program was just 1 year.
It was what? 9 months.
9 months from August to May. And at that point, we're like, wow, that is crazy. So we looked at it and we're like, okay, looks like Kelvin is coming to Miami. This will be working. And for context, Miami is in Oxford, Ohio.
Not University of Miami.
Not University of Miami.
The real Miami University, please.
Which is in Oxford, Ohio, and I work in Richmond, Indiana, which is only like 45 minutes. So we're like, yeah, this will be perfect. We'll do this for a year, and that's how this man ended up coming to the US. Yeah, you see, it may not have been Loyola and Roosevelt that I wrote in my journul, but
it was a
master's degree, and it was us being together in the same place, which really helped. So then we did long distance for 10 months. And then I came home after I graduated, and we saw each other. Then afterwards he joined me in August 2022.
Oh, well, what was the date, bro? You usually
the 3rd of August. See? Oh yeah,
she knows the date of our
3 August 2022, and his program was starting on the 19th of August.
I was supposed to arrive on the 2nd.
Yeah, so he came early so that we could figure out like some housing
and all the good stuff.
Yeah, but again, God is good. It turns out Miami was actually like one of the top 10 programs in accounting programs in the whole of America. Can you imagine? And we didn't even know that when we applied. We just wanted a school that was near to me so that we wouldn't have to do a lot of commutes. And then, they have 100% success rate.
100%.
100%.
Fun fact. Went into this class. I think it was 2-3 weeks in. One of the classes, they brought in like a manager or a CEO of some company to come and speak to us. Then the guy was like, who in this class has a job offer on the table or have accepted a job offer? Everyone. I was like, why are these guys not talking about application? I used to wonder, but I was like, maybe people start applying later in February, March, or something like that. Then this day opened my eyes. These people never go to like what are these called?
Job fairs and stuff,
career fairs. They never talk about it. So I used to wonder, like
what's going on? Mind you, this is in like September.
This is September
for people graduating the next year, May.
In May,
who already have jobs offers. Like
everyone's hands up,
except my boy.
Except me, these people in the corner like,
like what's going on?
I asked my boy Nick, hey bro, you already got an offer? Yeah. I did an internship at EY, so they sent me like an offer. I just accepted it in Chicago. I'm like,
damn.
I called Titi soon after class. I was like, Titi, everyone got a job here.
And at that point, he had just arrived. So we were thinking you might start doing applications in January. Because
February.
So let's use the first semester for you to settle in, adjust to the American system before we start doing. Then we just realized
it's tough.
It's very tough.
I didn't even have schedules. They didn't even. Like in that class, they never talk about looking for jobs or anything, because everyone has a job. It's 100% success rate. So one day I was like, there's a career fair somewhere.
You didn't even know it was
I didn't even know. I knew that I had my jeans, shoes, t-shirt.
Everyone is informal.
Everyone is suited up. All the undergrad kids are with suits. Went to this job fair. I arrived. It was packed. It was like a whole arena packed with kids with suits, with CVs. I didn't even have
nothing on him.
I was like, okay, let me just look for my companies. Look for EY.
Long line.
Deloitte, long line. PwC, long line. KPMG, long line. I was like, there's no way, bro. People are suited. I was like, let me go. As I was moving
Walking
out,
away, yeah.
like I don't know what happened. As I was moving out, I saw this girl. She had a Deloitte T-shirt. I was like, hey, please, can I just talk to you? I know I'm skipping the line, but I just need a second. You know, I didn't know this was happening today. She was like, yeah, you can ask any question, you know. I was like, I'm looking for a job. She was like, where?
Yeah.
And like, you know,
anyway, but Deloitte would be great.
Deloitte would be great. I see you got a T-shirt, so I'm assuming you work for Deloitte. Apparently, this lady was the recruiter for Deloitte, Cincinnati. So I was like, okay, sure. She was like, yeah, today is actually there's actually like a few spots left, but today is the last day of application for full-time applicants
for next year. Mind you, this is September. Next year, they're talking about September 2023.
Anyway, in September
2022.
I was like, so why are you guys here if you know it's the last day? No, we are even like recruiting for 2024. We are starting in 2024. That was a year later.
Yeah.
For juniors. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna apply. She was like, do you have any tips? And I know I need to rush, but there's another event happening. I'll be there at another hall. She was like, okay, this time just come. Went to that event.
And she was very nice. She was very nice. That one was like, the other event was solely for students of color.
Yeah.
So it was a much smaller group.
I went there, talked to her again. I was like, yeah, I better apply today. She was, yeah, today good midnight. That's the last day of application. Good luck.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, sure. Then I
came home.
I was like, bro, where my CV?
He was like, bro, we need to submit our CV. Let's refresh it.
Everything that night submitted it around 10. Forgot about it.
This is in September. Can you imagine? He secured an interview for October 10th. I remember your interview dates.
Yeah.
October 10th. Bro, craziest day.
Like, we had a bunch of kids.
We were hosting students for an African students like lunch with like 20 kids here. And he had his interview in the morning before they were arriving at 12. So he had his interview at 10
to 11. 1 hour.
1 hour. So he's doing his interview and I'm preparing food and getting the house ready. And I asked him after the interview, I'm like, how was the interview? He's like, oh, it was good. I talked about Russia. I talked about accounting at Moetse in Swaziland. You know, I talked about all things. I'm like, do you feel good about it? He's like, yeah, I feel good. And I'm like, this is America. Normally when you interview, either you get ghosted or like you hear back like months and months later. So we just like enjoyed our day, forgot about it. Now it's like 5 p.m. This man is like, bro, I missed a call from Deloitte. I'm like, what do you mean you missed a call? He's like, yeah, they told me I should text them when I'm ready for a call. And I was like, what? Text them now then? Like, what are we waiting for? So then he texted and they called. This man, he's on the phone for like less than 2 minutes. Then he comes back out. I'm like, is everything okay? And he just says, I got the job. I'm like,
what do you mean you got a job? Like she just say, hey, I know you'll be considering a lot of offers. We'd like to, put our offer on the table. This is what we're going to be paying and stuff like that. So we would love you to consider us. We'll send you the paperwork to sign whenever you're ready. I was like, send it to me.
I'll insert the video here of like literally screaming up and down. If I still have it, I probably have it somewhere.
Yeah, you have it.
But bro, I was just like, what do you mean?
That
same day, 7 hours later from your interview.
My dream company.
You get a call from your dream company, and then
that was the top
pinnacle
of the toppest of the places that I was gonna apply.
Yeah, bro. So literally, God, there's no other explanation that we have for how series of events got us to where we are today, besides God's grace, honestly.
It's been beautiful.
Because and then he got the job. So now he just was cruising through his masters knowing he had a job secured.
I was lifting my head whenever they asked, who here got a job?
So then he started working September 2023.
September 5th. 2023. First day at Deloitte.
Yeah, crazy. And now it's been
Now I'm going to be a senior, and I'm already a senior because the promotions are already out there. They told me. So I'll be a senior going into my third year now.
But Yeah, I don't know if this was interesting enough for y'all, but that's basically how we got to
to be
T and
here
Kelvin getting married and dating
and
and
dating and all that good
yeah,
stuff. The honestly speaking, the details
yeah.
of everything was not included in this because there was a lot that goes into us
Hmm.
dating and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
It's a story that some of the stories they don't need to be documented. You need to be in person. I tell you what happened when,
Yeah, yeah.
then we move on. But it was a
It's been
beautiful time.
yeah,
Don't regret anything at this point in time.
yeah.
It's been beautiful now. Married to
Meh.
my beautiful wife. Very soon we have a beautiful little ones. But
Running
no,
around.
don't think we are
Now
pregnant
they're
now.
zooming in, being like, "How is she sitting? Is she hiding something?" Don't
Nah,
worry
nothing
about
at
it.
this point in time.
Don't
When
worry
it
about
happens,
it. You will
we'll
know.
let you know. When it happens, we'll let
You
you
will
know.
know. We're
Wait.
very excited for that next chapter in our lives.
Yeah.
So
Soon though.
yeah, yeah.
Just putting it out there.
What advice do you have for young couples out there? Because there's always the question about like, do you wait for someone who's already has everything figured out, or do you recommend building with someone, especially in this day and age?
Who do you want to do it for you? But again,
Yeah, because some people,
you
like,
know,
I know some, let me say, some girls will say, I want a man who already has a job, who already has like a house, who already has a car, or people who already have, which is all materialistic.
those are good
But
things
also like
too.
people who
Those are
say
good
they want
attributes.
someone who already has their things figured out. But when we met, we were both still figuring things out. Like, you
Mm.
had just graduated from uni, I was still in uni. Like, I still had one more year to go when we met. So it's like we built each other up, in these last 5 years we grew together. But some people, they always ask, like, would you recommend growing and building together, or like finding yourself and figuring yourself out before finding a partner?
It's good to have some kind of findings of yourself, to have found yourself. You
Mm.
got your things figured out. It's good, but at the end of the day, if you meet the one, I believe in destiny for the one. She doesn't. If you meet the one, you will know that this is
Mm.
the person that I'm going to be with. They're gonna be fights, they're gonna be shit, stuff like that, happening.
You won't
But
always agree.
you won't always agree. You're going to,
Yeah.
shake each other and stuff like that. But I always tell her that my my wife will be someone who I am going to be willing to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
It, I'm going to get angry, but I'm going to be willingly
Mm-hmm.
forgive that person, and
Mm-hmm.
move on
Mm-hmm.
in with life. So finding someone who has his things figured out and all that good stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it's a good thing, but it's not the standard. You can meet
Mm-hmm.
someone who is not really has things figured
Things
out, but
figured
they
out.
have ambitions and goals,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of walking towards a future that is a little bit, you know, wide, and they
Yeah.
know what they want to do and how they want to get to wherever they
Mm-hmm.
want to get to. If you meet that person, good person, help them grow, help each other grow,
Mm-hmm. It's
move
a
up the
team
ladders
effort.
together.
Yeah.
It's a team effort.
Mm.
When we started dating, I couldn't buy her anything. She could just buy me whatever I want. I couldn't. Yeah,
Not that
iPhone.
that
I was
mattered
broke.
to me. It took him a while to
They
know that it
always,
didn't matter to me.
they always say so, but hey, I couldn't
No,
get her anything.
it
Like I
really
couldn't get her
didn't matter
anything.
to
I'm
me.
not going to dispose how much I was getting paid and stuff like that. She also had an advantage because she was,
Earning in
USDs.
dollars, yeah.
From this side, I
Mm,
was back home. Back home, $100. That's
mm.
how much.
Like maybe
1.8.
1.8, 1,800 rand.
Yeah, it's just dinner, bro.
When you put it
But
like
back
that.
home, she send me like $100. I'll be the rich king. Yeah, it's just dinner.
Yeah.
So you need to just know
Hmm.
what you
And know your
want and
person,
know your
yeah.
person.
Hmm.
Grow up together. It's always better to
Hmm.
kind of grow up, grow together, and just
Hmm.
build each other.
Yeah, and for the
the
girlies,
end of
don't
the
be
day.
shy to shoot your shots. Like
Yeah.
I saw a good thing from afar, and I was like, God, that one. So we both put in the work. It wasn't like, obviously it's not, don't be taken advantage of. Like, it's not a situation where, like, if he's saying I was sending him $100, it's not like he was saying send me $100 or else. Like, it wasn't
She used to beg me to
yeah,
send me
I was
money,
like,
bro.
I just want to do something for you,
I'm like, I'm fine, bro. I'm fine.
Yeah, but it's just like, I really, like, I loved the guy, and I wanted us to, like, build together and do this life thing together. So I would recommend, like, building with someone. If you found the right person, like, it's beautiful to then see where we are now,
You know where we came
like
from.
looking at how we managed to put the wedding together with, like, finances
Our
that we
first dollar
saved.
into the account.
Yeah, and savings accounts building up and
Mhm.
different things. And we get to now see the fruits of our last 5 years. I feel like our 5 years were very foundational. Now we're entering the next 5 years where it's like we're building even
Working
further
now,
now.
building, and just be better.
Thank you for hanging out with us. What's your last word to the people?
Love is a beautiful thing, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It stinks, it
It
hurts,
stinks.
but it is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me.
Yeah.
They are more advantages to it
And
than
disadvantages.
disadvantages. At least to me. Not gonna say to everyone it's gonna be the same, but at this point in time,
Yeah.
you can get hurt so bad.
Mm-hmm.
You can, also be very, very happy
Yeah.
and content.
Mm-hmm. The love and the happiness outweighs the other side.
The other side of things,
Yeah,
yeah.
because the other side does happen. It's not true. People tend to see couples online and be like,
Oh my goodness.
these ones never fight. These ones are always happy. These ones have no problems.
Inshona usaid kufugura apa. Wana zikazofugurwa. You see things.
Yeah. So this isn't to portray like an unrealistic expectation that things are always beautiful and we don't physically fight. No fist. Like, we get into disagreements.
We disagree on a lot of things, actually.
Yeah, actually.
A lot.
Why you that sounded personal, bro? You good?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, but nah, we good out here, guys. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching, guys.
And thank you for requesting this video to our fan. Have to give you a shout out. Thank you so much. I'm gonna put your comments like in a screenshot here. Thank you for requesting this video.
It was.
We hope you enjoyed it.
We thought we would have made this a long
by
time
now,
ago,
but
because you requested, shout out to you. Drip check though.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
We're done already.
Yeah, we're done.
Drip check, guys. What do you think?
It's a drip check. Show them the back. Not Nyash, the jacket.
The jacket. You guys will be looking at.
Yeah.
Drip check, guys.
Drip check. Anyway, I don't have drip because I was in my comfy clothes. But we're actually wearing the same pants. Y'all just can't see that we're wearing the same pants.
Nah, you know what happened with the pants? She didn't like them. But now,
they're comfy
I had
pants.
to buy them.
Alright, guys. We'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for doing no copyright. No. We can't do a piece.
Now shout out to you, whatever you.
Thank you for doing the video with me.
No, okay.
Appreciate you.
Guys, I'm not used to this video thing, but
soon you'll be used.
Soon I'll be used. I'll come. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy and stuff like that. But not anytime soon.
Alright, guys. Bye.
Shout out to all of them.